I'm Michael.
I'm Jack.
Yeah, you're Jack.
Yeah, so that's me.
And we're recording for Psyckick. I didn't choose the name.
That was me. That was my bad.
And we're just going to watch it. We're going to go in raw. Because I don't know too much about actors or anything like that. So I'm going to leave that on you.
Okay,
cover my back.
That's...
Lucasfilm, but luckily Lucas is not involved in the production here.
Not at all.
So that's already first good sign we're seeing. Trailer just started.
Okay.
Now, what I was thinking when I first saw this, when I saw the X-Wing and I saw the Star Destroyer over here in the background,
yeah,
is the first thing that came to my mind was maybe this was the planet... Fuck it.
You're thinking maybe Tatooine at first?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe this was Tatooine. Then, of course, since that time, they've already done all this. They're announcing the Battlefront game, and they're like, guess what? Everything you cared about, it doesn't matter. This isn't relevant to... This isn't relevant. This isn't a throwback to anything you care about. This is just, we threw in a brand new planet for the sake of
called
Jakku,
right?
Yeah, Jakku.
Yeah. So that's the planet Jakku.
Yeah, and then we got this little speeder going around in the back.
Yes.
And I'm thinking it's a speeder because that's probably a staple for
all our heroes. And
it's a staple for desert planets, I'm assuming. Because whenever you see a desert planet, somebody's speeding around on something.
Yeah, especially in Star Wars. Yeah. Especially if your name is a Skywalker, then you're always on a speeder.
And hopefully we're going to see some Skywalker on that speeder too.
Yeah.
The Force is strong in my family.
Of course, I'm assuming that's Mark Hamill.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. And then we got Darth Vader. Fire got some fucked up.
Yeah.
So he was wearing the helmet when he... No, he wasn't wearing the helmet when he cremated him, was he? He took it off.
I'm pretty sure he was, yeah.
He was?
I'm pretty sure he was. He took it off, of course, and at the... You know, when the Death Star was blowing up. But when we see him burning it, his helmet's back on, so I guess he put it back on.
So this is all melted.
I guess that's his head. I know it's kind of nasty to think about it. That's his head, cremated ashes in there. I guess
probably.
Yeah, but it's a good shot. I like it.
You'd think the way this looks, though, it kind of like made me laugh a little bit because it looks like melted plastic almost, and you'd think some futuristic like super metal that they made a cyborg super psychic man. Like, whereas his body, essentially, you think it'd withstand something like the temperature of fire.
You would think.
And, you know, unless something has happened to it since, but, you know, what are you going to do?
It's hard to tell. Yeah.
It conveys the point that it's melted.
Exactly.
I guess.
And it's Darth Vader's helmet.
And,
he's not here anymore.
He's
dead.
If he's still here, he doesn't want to be here anymore, looking at that.
Yeah.
My father hasn't.
All right.
Of course, an interesting shot here. Who are you thinking that is?
Well, what I was thinking first was, you know, with the line in the background, the fact that he's with R2-D2, it's like, you know, it's got to be Luke.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of second-guessed myself because I was thinking, well, he's got this metal hand. And back in 5, when he lost his hand, he got a cyborg hand that looked just like a normal hand. Yeah. So why are you downgrading?
It's an interesting point. Of course, it's been 30 years in between movies. Who knows what has happened? Maybe he just likes that. I don't know. They're
going for the point a little later. We're going to see the stormtroopers, the new stormtroopers, and then there was a whole dialogue. I remember they did this big on-stage thing where they were talking about the new movies. I caught like the latter half of it.
Okay,
but I remember they were talking about, like, oh, they upgraded over 30 years. Like, you know, stuff's changed over 30 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, maybe they made new robot hands. And that leads me to think maybe there's something special about his robot hand now. Maybe it does something cool. Like, that's the only reason you'd want to, like, downgrade.
Yeah, like I said, first I thought Luke too. We don't, not for sure. But like you said, as what he's saying with R2-D2, with the robot hand, lots of that points to Luke. That's who I think it is. But of course,
there's always a possibility. Yeah. It is a different robot hand, so there always is a possibility.
It's exactly a possibility that it's not him. And of course, this whole speech he's given is kind of a rework of what he said in Return of the Jedi to his sister Leia, and kind of continue that.
And it all kind of screams to me the whole. Well, I'm not going to talk about it.
My sister.
So another interesting scene. What were we saying?
Oh, well, what I was going to say before is it also kind of evokes the memory of, okay, we know it's not Tatooine, but they set up the desert planet, and they, like, bring out R2-D2, and they show him, like, kind of in that desert planet setting. It evokes memories of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So now you have Luke, who was the main young kid in the original trilogy, is now taking that role of he is the Obi-Wan character.
He's
now.
the mentor. He's the master. You know, he's teaching the younger generation. Presumably, that's what's happening. And of course, we don't really know what's going on. That doesn't look like a human hand to me, though. That little hand, that looks like some kind of little alien hand. I don't know. What do you think there?
Yeah, definitely the hand on the right.
Yeah,
doesn't look human, or it's probably a kid that hit puberty way too early, because that's one hairy hand.
It's a weird little hand. I'm thinking some little alien, and of course that's Anakin's original lightsaber, Darth Vader, and eventually, obviously, what Obi-Wan gave to Luke in Episode 4, which he lost when he got his hand cut off. So, where did they find this? That's somewhere on Cloud City, I guess?
You know, saying that makes me think maybe, especially, well, not even especially, like throughout the entire series, there's always these characters that are the junk traders. Like, junk trading's really a thing in, like, the Star Wars universe. Junk traders are a respected profession. So I'd imagine maybe this lightsaber got scavenged, and whoever this is taking it from this person has maybe tracked down this lightsaber. So thinking that it was Anakin's, it was Luke's, maybe this is somebody with some kind of connection to Luke or to Anakin, that they felt the need to go out of their way, go find these scavengers, get the lightsaber, and maybe that's what's happening here. Is they're getting the lightsaber from
and
them.
it looks like there's some type of ring on whoever this person's finger is. I mean, there's something kind of there. It looks like on, like, the pinky finger, ring finger. Yeah, of course, I don't know what that is. Let me see a couple frames. Let's see, it just kind of disappears. There was something there on the finger. I don't know. This kind of looks like women's hands to me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at the thumb, you'll see, like, the nails kind of along.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really practical for, like, the kind of world they live in, but, it definitely looks like a longer nail.
Yeah, maybe this is Leia or some other family member.
Or if another female character we'll see a little bit later on.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's keep on going.
You have that power too.
So that line, you have that power too, sounds like Luke is speaking to somebody of the younger generation. And when
possibly a family member.
The way the context he's giving, where he's talking about, all my family, everybody in my family had it, now you have it too, it leads me to believe, it definitely is somebody within his family. But whether that is a child of his, or maybe a child of his sister Leia and Han Solo, I think I could see that conversation happening with either of those.
Exactly.
I think more realistically, probably Han Solo and Leia's daughter.
They are obviously already a couple. I'm sure they've been doing something in the last 30 years. Sure.
I'd certainly hope so.
I would hope so too. Unless Leia has some serious problems, I'm sure they.
Why has it got to be Leia?
Well, exactly.
Maybe Han's got
some problems
too.
Maybe shooting blanks. I don't know. I'm sure it's one of their kids. Of course, in the expanded universe, they had twins, and that factored into a lot of those type of stories. Which, of course, that's all gone now.
Yeah,
it's never happened anymore. So.
I've heard, like, split opinions on expanded universe. Some people really thought it was well done. Some people just felt why.
I don't want to get too much into it, but there was some really good stuff there. Particularly the Thrawn trilogy was spectacular. They acted as their own episode 7, 8, and 9. They're really what got everything going. But like I said, don't want to get into it. But there's some good stuff. But there's also a lot of crap.
At this point, it's just respect it for what it was, but it's not.
It's over.
Not really canon.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's always going to be its own thing.
Yeah, and people are still going to enjoy it what it is.
Yeah.
So of course here we don't really know what planet they're on.
That right there. Can we go back.
Yeah,
this was the first disappointment I had. If you're gonna have the teaser for the brand new Star Wars trilogy going on right here, at least get the guy's helmet on straight. Are you kidding me? Can you not get the guy's helmet on straight?
Well, he's in the moment.
Well, he's pumped.
Fighting some TIE fighters or something. I don't think he has time.
But at the same time, it does make me think of the original trilogy, because this movie seems to me to be reaching back there. Because, you know, not gonna get into it. The Anakin trilogy, not
The
my
prequels
favorite thing.
Okay,
They kind of deviated away from what made the original so special.
I agree. They're its own trilogy and they're kind of separate. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember I read a little bit of a Mark Hamill interview.
Yeah.
Where he talked about when he was going back, how surprised he was when he got offered the place for the movie, and when he heard J.J. Abrams was going to be directing, he was like, "Isn't that the Star Trek guy?"
Yeah.
And he's a little skeptic at first and wary of it, but a line he kind of did give away about what he's expecting Abrams to do is that he's looking at making more practical effects, more real live sets, things that were just, you know, when you think back in time to around that area, that
the original Star Wars,
that age when movies were always made using live sets and the effects had to be practical. I think of things like the original one. Well, mindset's on outer space right now. I think of stuff like the original Star Trek, the original series,
TV shows. Yeah,
I think of Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Yeah.
And just, I remember scenes Planet of the Apes, just him walking through the mountains and the deserts, and just, you could tell it's real, and it adds to it. And then, of course, you think of the original trilogy, and how they're shooting out in the desert, and everything just feels...
Everything was real, and there was no CGI back then. It was all tricks. They did a lot of different things to make it what it was. It was practical. And
at least until Lucas got his hands on it, and he got his hands on some cheap CG, and he started throwing it in
there's some stuff that just doesn't hold up. You look at the prequels, and there's a lot of stuff that looks worse now than...
I would rather have a Yoda puppet than little CG Yoda doing backflips. That was kind of cool, but at the same time, little puppet Yoda, he got me what I needed.
Yeah, well, one thing about the puppet Yoda looked horrible in Episode 1. I don't know what puppet they used, but the one... in like Empire, Return of the Jedi, looks legit, but I don't know what happened in Episode 1. That thing.
They had the
terrible.
guy who did the Muppets. Did you?
Yeah, Jim Henson.
Jim Henson. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. He's done so many things. He did original like Ninja Turtles movies. He did like Labyrinth.
The man knows his puppets.
He does, and he was a genius at that. And so one thing I do like on the I don't know if you've seen the Blu-ray Star Wars versions. On Episode 1, they added a CG. Yoda that matches with Episode 2 and 3, and it actually looks a lot better.
I mean, I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but I'll take your word for it. But anyway, refocusing on what we're doing. Yeah, with the crooked helmet, that at the same time, it makes me think of, you know, the face cams you get whenever you're looking at a space battle with all the ships flying around.
Yeah, we always saw the pilot inside the cockpits. Yeah, very much what the original trilogy did.
Yeah, so I mean, for that, in that sense, I think, okay, a little bit of a cricket helmet. But at the same time, you're showing the premiere new Star Wars, like the most anticipated movie for some people, many people around the world. You know, get the guy's helmet on right for this first shot. At least for this shot, get it on right.
Something, yeah. And we don't even really know what this character is and what he's doing. I forgot the actor who plays this role, but I have no idea. Obviously, he's a member of Rogue Squadron or something like that. I have no idea how else he factors in the movie. I don't think really.
And that. Also, we're looking at like a kind of different paint job design.
Yeah, for a lot of red and black. Yeah, well, of course we had more like the white orange kind of thing going.
And that harkens back to how we're talking about how things have evolved over 30 years. So.
It's familiar. But at the same time, it's new.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah. Okay, so continue.
You think they changed the outfit? Oh,
well, we kind of missed a important scene there.
Well, let's go ahead and we'll take a look back here. All right. So this is going to be hard. But yeah, okay, there we go. Perfect. So we got Mr. Lightsaber hilt right here. And a lot of people, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this design for the lightsaber. But
of course, the crossguard with that, it not being very practical, and of course it doesn't extend all the way out. And lots of people think, oh, well, you could just swipe down and cut the little metal pieces if you see there. I have no idea what the lightsaber's made of, if that works. It's an interesting design choice. Of course, the lightsaber itself looks a little more crackly, unpredictable. It doesn't look like someone who knew what they were doing built this lightsaber.
Yeah, and I've heard that theory as well, which is that there are no more Sith. Well, we're assuming there are no more Sith now, so you have a Sith coming out. He doesn't have anybody to teach him, and there were no more Jedi, so there's no more Jedi to convert. Possibly, maybe we'll see something.
Of course,
but
this guy took it upon himself to continue the Sith way,
and you got a dude who's building his lightsaber, and he wants to put a couple little hilts on because this looks badass. So he does it.
It's definitely an interesting choice. Yeah.
So maybe it's not practical, but maybe that's what we're seeing. Maybe another theory I've heard, I forget where I've read it, is maybe there's so much unstable energy because he did rig this thing. He jerry-rigged this lightsaber together. Maybe there's so much volatile energy he needs the extra ports to just
it's like exhaust
vent
ports
it out
or something. Yeah. And I believe the character's name Kylo Ren.
That's something I wouldn't know.
I think Kylo Ren. I'm pretty sure that's who
two-parter
this guy
names.
Is called.
Two-parter names. It's always welcome. Han Solo. We got the Kylo, whatever you said. Kylo Ren.
I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right, and we don't really even know who's playing this character. There's a lot of actors in this movie who kind of have question marks by him. I think Adam Driver. Who else?
The actor must be having a good time with it too, because everybody's speculating who is this guy, and he's just sitting there and he's like rubbing his hands together. But yeah, anyway, too long didn't read. I'm a long-time Star Wars fan. I think the lightsaber looks kind of neat. I don't think about it that hard. It's different. It's kind of a unique lightsaber, which is something we've seen with the Sith before. The Sith like to put their own personal spin on it.
Every Sith has its own. They always got to make their lightsabers different. With Darth Maul's duel,
maybe vanity goes along with the dark side, but you know what? It looks neat, and I like it. I think it's all right.
Exactly.
This guy on the right, he looks so distressed.
He's always. I don't think
he is worried about something.
Every time we've seen him, yes.
At least here, he seems to have a good reason.